All right, Stefanie Williams is the blogger at chasingthejersey.blogspot.com, and I'm glad to talk to her. I have so many questions about this. I know my producer is completely confused. He has a lot of questions, and I don't even know where to start. So first, what exactly is jersey chasing?
I think jersey chasing, or at least to me, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I think it kind of depends on who you ask. But to me, it's just kind of having an affinity towards dating athletes and hanging out with athletes, being attracted to athletes. I think in the mainstream, it means girls that tend to date and sleep with athletes. So
So you start a blog where you actually talk about your exploits with a variety of different athletes at, I guess we shouldn't really say at the highest level, right? I mean, Derek Jeter is not on that list yet.
no, not yet. No, it's not. I prefaced, I think one of the first blog posts that it's if people are looking for cheating scandals on, Kobe Bryant or Derek Jeter or, Tiger Woods, those already happened anyway. But it's not going to be that level of, professional athletes. But I think it's kind of more of a draw actually because it's more, it's easier for more people to relate to because it has to do with kind of all levels. It had to do with NCAA. It had to do with, minor leagues, and then professional leagues, NHL. MLB,
So
professional.
this started as basically the idea was you wanted to write a book, right? And then you said, well, that's not happening right away. I'm going to start this blog instead.
Um, Basically, I mean, I had shopped the idea around to a couple literary agents. One literary agent gave me terrible feedback, told me it was a horrible idea, that I was going to regret it, that my children would hate me. So then I got a literary agent that actually was pretty supportive, but the attention just wasn't there. So he suggested I started a blog, and I started putting some stories up. I kind of took Tucker Max's advice. He says give some of the best stuff you have for free. It gets people interested. So I
Yeah,
started.
but so that's a good question. Isn't this something that this stuff is out there? Even if you take the blog down, people could have saved it. The stuff is on other sites. Are you worried at all that it could affect you in the future? I mean, maybe you're not planning on going for like, I don't know, a regular job interview where you're told, those standard interview questions. Tell us about a time where you had to deal with somebody who was, that standard job interview. Maybe you don't care about that.
Um, when I started doing this, I had a long talk with my mother about what I wanted to do with my life, and I don't want to go to law school. I don't want to work in finance. I want to write, and I think this is a good starting point. This is a great story, and the day that what actually kickstarted the blog was an article I did on a website called Bro Bible, and I remember doing the article, and it went up on a Thursday when I was at work at the bar, and I think it went viral in like 2 hours. It got, I think, 20,000 hits in the first 2 hours. And I started getting some negative comments on it, and I had a heart attack. And I remember taking the train home and being like, I'm never going to be able to do anything again. Like, everyone's going to associate me with it. But then I got home and I got a couple emails that were really positive, and I kind of got over it. I think I popped a couple Xanax and I had a glass of wine. I don't think that's healthy to do both,
Well,
but
there's no question that you're going to get positive emails because I'm sure there's tons of guys who just love reading what you're writing. But I'm curious more from women because I looked around a little bit at the comments on the stuff that you write. And it seems like there's some women who say what you're doing is terrible for women and it objectifies women, so on and so forth. But then there's other women who actually seem to say, you know what? There's this double standard about sex where men are allowed to be more promiscuous and talk about sex without the negative connotations that women receive. And you're just saying, you know what? I don't care. This is what I'm writing about. So there's both sides to it, right?
oh yeah, I mean, actually, I get more emails through the blog from women. Women who kind of are like me that have dated a hockey player and know that whole story, and dated soccer players or no soccer players, or we have mutual friends, things like that. Women that appreciate it. There are definitely women that hate me. I mean, I've gotten tons of. I had one person email me, tell me I need to find Jesus, and she got real mad because I emailed her
Well,
back.
listen, we've all been told that. I've been told
Yeah.
that
Oh
for
yeah. But
just for being Jewish,
my response was terrible because I turned around and said, "Sweet, what position does he play and what team does he play for?" She was real mad. But I mean, I think women. It is a double standard. A lot of people call me the female Tucker Max, and he hates me. He does not like me at all. But
And to clarify, who Tucker Max is a guy who writes a blog about his exploits with women, right?
yeah, he has a best-selling book. I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. It's a great book. It's really, really funny.
Yeah.
And it is. It's all kind of, you know, D-bag behavior from a guy and sexual exploits and things like that. But
Let me go to my producer Lewis on that note, though. I mean, Lewis is also a bartender in addition to working on the show, and Lewis is, sometimes he's graced by the presence of a woman who comes to his bar, and he's able to. I don't know what it is exactly that he does, but I don't know if that, Lewis, you want to go into it. But what's your reaction to this, Lewis? I mean, tell me what you're thinking over there.
To this whole thing?
Yeah. And I don't know if you can hear him, Stephanie, but I'll make sure you do. Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. Sounds like a good outlet for people like Stephanie and like-minded women.
Now, the question to you, Lewis, is if you were, let's say you met let's say you were in Stephanie's bar, or Stephanie came into your bar,
right?
And maybe you were interested in, getting a drink or something like that. If you found out that she's writing about sexual exploits online, would that be a turnoff to you?
I can't say.
Lewis isn't sure. I mean, what's been your experience, Stephanie? Is this a hindrance?
no, I've gone on a couple dates. When people ask what I do, I start off at the bar and then I say I'm a writer. What are you writing? And I go into it. I kind of sugarcoat it. I don't explicitly come out and say it's about, who I've slept with. I say it's about sports and dating. And then you go into it. And if, the way I see it, if the guy likes me, and we end up dating, he's going to find out who I slept with anyway. Cause I think if you date someone and don't know how many people or who your partner slept with, it's a little weird to me. But, if they're turned off by it, they are. I don't think I have anything else that's totally negative going for me. So if that's the one thing and, they like everything else, I don't think it's going to be a huge turnoff. If
you get into like a real long-term relationship though, will you stop the blogging? I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I have the ebook coming out, so I think after that comes out, the blogging, it's not going to go on hiatus, but it's probably going to slow up a little bit. I want to give people the chance to read the book and see some new stories. I don't see myself in a long-term relationship anytime soon. I'm dating around, I'm having fun, and I'm going to a game next week and seeing a couple of my buddies that play soccer, and I'm not worried about what's going to happen just yet, especially with dating, because that hasn't been an issue at all. I've been single for 2.5 years. If it changes tomorrow, I'd be shocked.
All right. Well, Lewis, there it is. Something for you to think about for sure as you serve those beers to a variety of women at the bar.
Right. Thanks, Dave.
All right. We've been talking to Stefanie Williams. Chasingthejersey.blogspot.com is the website. Great to talk to you.
Likewise. Thanks for having me on.